we should play clip number 1 so we can hear the great leader give his solemn statement, which he'll, by the way, I can guarantee you he was against sending troops in before he's for sending troops in, which could be as soon as tomorrow. Listen to clip 1.
We will not be sending U.S. troops back into combat in Iraq, but I have asked my national security team to prepare a range of other options that could help support Iraq security forces.
Right, that's some national security team. A group of geniuses from Harvard and NYU. They never fired a Daisy BB gun, but the national security team. This is the same group of academic schmucks who are letting the country be overrun by Central Americans. The same schmucks who let the Boston Marathon bombing occur. That's the national security team. Oh, I really feel secure. None of them ever served in the military, I can guarantee you. They all served at Harvard in the Women's Studies Department.
Join the Savage Nation. Listening to an encore segment of The Savage Nation.
Let's see. Neanderthal-like skulls reconstructed from Pitt in Washington. No, Spain. Neanderthal-like skulls reconstructed from Pitt in Washington, D.C., in Spain, hint at human evolution. Now, who are we all descended from this week? For years, I thought we were descended from the Fertile Crescent from Egypt. I could live with that. Then I heard we were all descended from Africa, which they invented that story. Every week it's another race that they decide was the father of all, or the mother of all races. In Spanish, the word for jigsaw puzzle is rompecabezas, literally a head breaker. Researchers in Spain flipped that process, taking hundreds of pieces of ancient bone that were found in a cave north of Madrid near Burgos called the Pit of the Bones, and reconstructing 17 skulls of early humanoids dating back 430,000 years. I think we'd be better off with humanoids running the country today than what we have. I would vote for humanoids, to be honest with you. The Pit of Bones, which was discovered in 1983, includes the largest number ever recovered from a single site, blah, blah, blah. They are early members of the Neanderthal lineage. You can't say Neanderthal, it's Neanderthal, just to show that you're sophisticated. That's like saying if you say Vincent van Gogh, it means you're an uneducated dolt. I had a guy once went to Belgium. He came back and I said, "How was the Van Gogh exhibit?" He said, "It's Van Gogh." Never talked to him again. He later became a lawyer. There are early members of the Neanderthal lineage. Jean-Louis Assuaga of Madrid's Complutense University. Let me ask you something. Do you trust anything coming out of a Spanish university? I don't. It's like the line in The Godfather where the character who... I'm sorry. You remember the Lansky character in The Godfather? Do you remember that? Where he's sick, laying on bed with it. It's the way Jewish guys looked in those days. He's laying there with his gut hanging out on a couch in Havana. He's got like an upset stomach. He thinks it's a heart attack. He's got his underwear on, surrounded by the mafia. Guys like the brains of the mafia. And he's rubbing his chest. And he says, "Get me a doctor, get me a doctor." He's in Cuba. So they say, "Oh, we'll get you a doctor." They bring him in a doctor. He takes one look at him with a mustache. He says, no, send my doctor in from Miami. I don't trust any doctor who doesn't speak English. I mean, I basically feel the same way. I mean, if I go to a hospital, to be honest with you, I still would rather have someone who speaks English than someone who needs like a translator for me. Neanderthals are the closest extinct species to ours, Homo sapiens, and they coexisted with humans as recently as 40,000 years ago. Neanderthal skulls have a few distinct features, including a large brain, prominent jaws, and large teeth. Okay, large brain. It means they're probably smarter than most of us. Why did the Neanderthals die out? Were the Neanderthals meat eaters or were they like veggies? Were they vegans? Were the Neanderthals vegans? I don't know. I think that there's a break in the lineage of the human species. If I remember my evolutionary biology at all, and I'm not very good on this, where an earlier incarnation of Homo sapiens died out because they were vegetarians, and then the meat eaters came along and beat the heck out of them, killed them. The meat eaters have more energy. You know, look at the Middle East. What do you think those guys eat? You think that they're vegans? You ever see these guys? See how big they are and how powerful? The guts on them. What do you think they wear those open night shirts for? You think they want to buy a size 40 belt today and a 42 belt tomorrow and let the pants out every time they knock off a lamb? They have a cloak over them. They're not idiots. They don't focus on how their stomach looks in the mirror. They're a shroud, that's all. The wife they beat up to wash it every once in a while, and that's it. They don't have to buy a 40 belt, a 42, a 46, a 48. They're strong. They're powerful. Big in the arms, big in the chest. Big, burly guys. And they eat the meat eaters, monster beet eaters. Meat eaters, not beet eaters. Meat eaters, not beet eaters. The beet eaters live in Brooklyn. They eat borscht. I hated borscht as a child. Russian dishes I couldn't stand. There were certain ethnic foods I despised. I'd get sick from them. Borscht was one of them. I never understood why people liked it. I would say no thanks. I'd run out of the building. A dish, halava. Disgusting. Why is halava liked by so many Eastern Europeans in my childhood? I hated it. It was like caramel that sticks to your teeth. Hated it. I hated borscht. I hated halava. I hated fried latkes. I couldn't stand any of that garbage food. I was researching why Neanderthals died out. It's very interesting. It says because the humans that came along after them is that the humans ran faster. It's the primary reason for Neanderthals dying out, where they were not able to survive, is related to the fact that they could not run as fast as modern humans. And they would require 30% more energy than modern humans would for running or walking. That does it. So the answer is whoever runs fastest wins. I'm finished then. I nap after the show. I don't jog. I may take up jogging again. I gave it up at age 30. I couldn't take it. I hated it. So if you run faster, you survive. How do you like that? Like I didn't know it? Originally, it says that they coexisted with modern humans. Neanderthals and modern humans coexisted. Modern humans may have migrated to Europe 40,000 to 43,000 years ago. And the Neanderthals may have lived as recently as 24,000 years ago on the south coast of the Iberian Peninsula. Oh, that's Spain, of course. And then they interacted, the Neanderthal and the modern human. But they think that maybe because the human ran faster than the Nean, who was stocky and short. They look like my uncles. The combination of Neanderthal had lower, robust knees. None of my relatives ever needed knee replacement, now that I think about it. They were short and stocky. No, it's the tall guys who run a lot always have a burnt-out hip or a knee. I never had nothing, no replacements yet. I was not athletic, I'll be honest with you. I ride a bike every day, but I never burned out a knee yet. All these guys who run, they don't realize they're wearing their bodies out. Your body's not made for that. No, it's not a healthful thing to run like that. The human was not made for it. Yes, you can do it. Yes, you look good. You look better than I do, don't get me wrong. But you're not going to last as long as you think. I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE. 855.
Trying to say that the Republican Party only represents white people, but mainly it's being done by white people in the Democrat Party. I mean, if they really mean that, then Debbie Wasserman Schultz ought to quit. Schumer ought to quit. Hillary ought to quit. They're all white people, aren't they? And who are they kidding when they say the Republicans are a party of white people? What, suddenly they're all of a sudden in love with people of color? Charles Schumer represents people of color? I was supposed to believe that? Or Hillary Clinton hangs out only with people of color? I mean, let's get down and dirty with this rubbish. You believe a word of these demagogues? I don't. That's how you melt a nation down. That's how you turn a great nation like ours into Cesar Chavez's dictatorship. That's Obama's strategy under Saul Alinsky, step by step, day by day, tax people to death who are working and increase benefits for the bums and the leeches and the illegal aliens so they continue to vote for the illegitimate Socialist Democrat Party forever. I get it. But it's not over yet. The game is not quite over yet. There's still a lot to do, and the fact of the matter is there's an awful lot for we, the people, to do. We have one election left. I'm working, frankly, towards this one election. I'll be honest with you. It's all going to be hinged on November. I'm throwing everything I have at that. It's a little too early to start talking about it, but I have been writing the book, Stop the Coming Civil War, because I think that is a possible long-term strategy of this corrupt administration. If they're willing to flood the country with illegal aliens, if they're willing to turn all the resources of the government against the legitimate citizen by spying on everybody, then they're capable of anything. Believe me, they're capable of anything. And this anything would include fomenting a rebellion in the country in order to declare martial law, seize weapons. You let your imagination run wild, and you could say, oh, it's right-wing conspiracy, it can't happen here. Well, I would argue it is happening here. It is happening here, step by step, stage by stage. So I myself have been planning for 1 year now to throw everything I have in the written word and the spoken word behind the elections coming up in November. And the book is a big part of it. You're going to play a big role in it by hopefully buying the book, and just by displaying the cover of that book, Stop the Coming Civil War, send the message as to what this government, this devious government, is planning and what it is doing and what it has been doing all in one simple package. The cover alone will send the message. The cover of that book will be the billboard, and I am planning on then running a straight campaign right through the election, and I'm going to make the message very